Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about the Philippines president giving the go-ahead for a brand new digital nomad visa. Here are the details on that. The remains of a beauty queen and her Israeli boyfriend found.
10
million peso reward for Pastor Kubolo's whereabouts. Japan and the Philippines signed a historic defense deal. And foreign national escapes a hospital, steals a van, and then crashes the vehicle. And much more. Let's begin with the exchange rate. But before I do that, guys, I hope you had a great weekend. And the last video was demonetized, but I still went ahead and got a brand new camera so I can bring better quality video for you guys. If you're enjoying these and appreciate it, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Last time I asked you guys to cross 3,000, we cleared that easily. Let's go ahead and aim for 5,000. Here's the exchange rate. $1 equals 1 USD is about 58.5 pesos. Here's our main story. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is set to issue an executive order to implement nomad visas immediately without tax incentives, a tourism advisory body said on Friday. The tax incentive that could lead to increased take-up of the nomad visa can follow via a related bill that will be passed by Congress later. President said he supports this interim solution and has directed the Office of the Executive Secretary to draft the EO and select a pilot country for the initiative. It said there was an urgent need to expedite the process for the issuance of nomad visas, I quote, in order for the Philippines to capitalize on the opportunity to attract long-standing foreign tourists and boost tourism arrivals. A nomad visa is a permit that allows a person to work remotely in a foreign country. Officials said that neighboring countries such as Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia are already benefiting from this growing trend. LT Group President and Chief Executive Officer Lucio Tan said, "We need to issue nomad visas quickly to attract long-term tourists." House Bill 8165 or Digital Nomad Act, which seeks to grant a 12-month visa, is currently at the committee level. Under the proposed legislation, an alien who is employed in a country other than the Republic of Philippines may, upon making an application to the BI, be granted a digital nomad visa to work in the Philippines for a period of 12 months, renewable for another 12 months. Recipients must be at least 18 years old, can show proof of sufficient income generated outside the Philippines, and have a valid health insurance covering the period for which the visa is granted. He or she must have no criminal record in their home country or should not be considered a threat to the Philippines. Digital nomad visa holders will not be listed as a resident of the Philippines for taxation purposes, and the income they receive from their employer will not be considered income from the Philippine sources. The BI may revoke the digital nomad visa for any violation of the terms and conditions for its issuance or if the holder no longer qualifies. I'll put the link to that article in the description down below so you can find out some more details about it. The idea is to go ahead and attract digital nomads who work for themselves or for companies online to go ahead and stay in the Philippines. But personally, there are several really obstacles, I would say, for this situation. One of the main things will be internet connectivity, right? Of course, Manila, Cebu, Davao, some of the major cities have excellent internet. I've never had any issues really when I'm doing my job, really. But when it comes to smaller islands, and if you want really the Philippines to go ahead and be like the leader for digital nomads, you gotta really improve that internet connectivity. I mean, when I say you, I mean like whoever's in charge of this whole thing, because the foreigners that want to work online, that's the #1 thing they want to look for. And there's already like a 2-year tourist visa also, so I don't know who's actually wants to go and do the proper thing, go through the right channels, and actually work in the Philippines with the proper visa, because let's face it, let's be honest, a lot of us just work online regardless of which visa we're on. It's very rare to get someone be caught for working in the Philippines and get kicked out, unless you're like that one guy, I forgot his name, something Lee, where he was like an actor and he was working without. So if you're like a high, public figure and you're working without the proper visa, yeah, of course you're gonna get kicked out. But for general Joes like us, I don't know, but we'll see what happens once this bill is finalized. I'll be sure to bring more details about that. Leave your thoughts down below. What do you think of that? Do you think this is just to compete with neighboring countries? Do you think it's actually gonna make a difference to the applications? Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Pampanga governor confirms the body of Pampanga beauty queen Geneva Lopez and her Israeli boyfriend were no longer alive. ABS-C News reported that authorities discovered the bodies of a man and a woman in a remote site of Kapas Tarlac in the morning of Saturday, July 6th. The remains had not been identified at the time, according to the media outlet. It came after a main witness reported important information to the police in line with the case. Lopez and Cohen were reported missing by her family on June 21st, according to Angel City Police Office. The beauty queen told her relatives that she and Cohen were scheduled to meet with someone to check out a property they were looking to buy in Kapas Tarlac. Philippines National Police said the Kapas fire station responded to a car on fire on the road last June 22nd in Tarlac. Lopez's belongings, including her ID card, were discovered in the burnt sports utility vehicle. In a press briefing on July 2nd, the PNP announced that they've identified the persons of interest behind their disappearances. Fajardo said they cannot give additional details, but noted that they are pursuing very good leads. A tragic story, a sad story. Actually, an update on that I read recently, I don't know where, but apparently the person that was involved in this, the suspect called and told the people where the bodies are because his guilt and his conscience was eating away at him. We don't really know the cause or the reason, the MO for this crime, but we'll see what happens. Next up, the Philippines and Japan signed a defense pact. The reciprocal access agreement is seen to strengthen the defense cooperations of two longtime allies of the United States, which is looking to counter any potential threat from China. By now, you must have heard what's going on in the oceans of the waters. China bullying with the Coast Guard, water cannons, damaging property, all this stuff. So I guess this is a positive move towards showing some strength and some teamwork from these countries like Japan that, they have allies in case things do escalate. I hope not. Next up, the PNP is studying the possibility of charging former President Rodrigo Duterte with obstruction of justice after he told reporters last week that he did not want to reveal the whereabouts of wanted trafficker Apollo Quiboloy, as Chief said on Monday. Whoa, yeah, what's going on over here? Not wanting to tell the police where this person of interest is. If you don't know, the Quiboloy character is a pastor from the Kingdom of Jesus Christ Church, I believe. I'm gonna say church, but I'm not very sure about the title. But regardless, he's wanted for some very serious crimes that I cannot really talk about, apparently, according to YouTube. And actually, recently, there's a 10 million peso reward for anyone that can go ahead and give information to his arrest. So if you happen to see this guy on the street, you get a chance for a million peso, give the PNP a call. Next up, a crazy story from Thailand in Phuket. A foreign man escaped from a hospital on the weekend, stole a van parked at a petrol station and crashed it into another vehicle in Koh Patong Road in Phuket. Officers took some time to reach the scene as the accident caused a huge traffic jam on the road. Upon arrival, officers found a white Toyota van which was completely damaged at the front. The foreign man, whose identity and nationality remain undisclosed, was seen sitting in the driver's seat. The foreigner was in a state of agitation. He tried to leave the seat but was unable to due to his right leg being trapped in the damaged vehicle. The rescue team had to use metal cutting tools to remove the man from the vehicle. Reports say that the foreigner had been hospitalized previously following a rampage. However, he subsequently escaped from the hospital and proceeded to commit the theft and caused an accident. There's no information available regarding the legal repercussions of the foreigner's actions. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that guy. What's going through his mind? I wonder if he's on drugs or just like not having a good day. You're on a rampage and then stealing a van, crashing it. Yeah, Thailand's getting crazy with misbehaving foreigners lately, it feels like. Speaking of misbehaving foreigners in Thailand, in Pattaya, there was a hit and run of a British tourist left with a dislocated shoulder. So a British tourist sustained injuries after being struck by a motorcycle while crossing a street in Pattaya. The incident occurred at 12:10 a.m. yesterday. Emergency responders arrived at the scene to find 76-year-old Graham Hughes lying injured on the road, semi-conscious. Hughes had a dislocated shoulder and a laceration on his foot. After administering first aid, they transported him urgently to the hospital. An eyewitness said that the British tourist had been in Thailand for just 2 days and had left the bar when it was hit by a speeding motorcycle while crossing the street. The impact threw him to the ground, causing his injuries. There's a whole bunch of other details about that story, but I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. This kind of stuff happens regularly in Thailand. Firstly, Thailand has some of the most dangerous roads when it comes to just driving, motorcycles, pedestrians, people getting hit. And obviously being maybe a little bit tipsy coming out of a bar, you may not be looking around. Regardless, hopefully they catch that dude. And that's it for this video. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know which of these stories interest you the most. If you take time to write it, I'll take time to respond. And take a quick second out of your day, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and maybe even share this video with somebody that might find it interesting. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.